Hello and welcome. Welcome, one and all. Hambbage here, and I'm delighted to have you guys back for another video sharing hardcore vanilla Minecraft. We've got a nice new world, whole bunch of episodes racked up yesterday, and I want to dive back in, um, see if we can't keep this rocking right along. It has. Kind of everything I've expected out of this world has taken a different turn. From the very spawn, I expected, um, having lost the last, that we were going to um, struggle a little bit. Maybe get a tundra, certainly, or a taiga. I mean, we've had plenty of those, but we didn't. We were much more focused on setup. Now we do have extra of those. I think we're good to go. Um, we had talked a little bit yesterday about having, well, we went on a little treasure hunt, I guess, to count up anybody who missed the previous episode or is here new. If you are here new, just so that you know, we play hardcore vanilla Minecraft, so no mods. This is right out of the box as you get if you went to Minecraft.net and bought the game for yourself and didn't do anything, just loaded it on your computer and went to town in the Java version. Oh, I'm not paying attention here. One, two, three, four, five. And the one. So we want one extra, that's alright. And good time, that will all be incidental. But we're not going to focus on that today. As described, we are hot on the chase of diamonds and or discovery. And in past worlds, we have really focused on getting our basement set up. And I describe it as the basement. It's not direct, I mean, other than the stairway, which let's look at it because, man, did we work hard to get that. If you haven't watched, not the last episode, which was fun because we went treasure hunting under ships and all kinds of good stuff there, visited a bunch of villages and saw the desert. Um, so that was fun. But the two videos preceding that, I think they were episodes 3 and 4, 4 and 5. I lost count. Whatever they were, wow. I mentioned in either Twitter or in the description, it was the hairiest um, stairway down to a thing I've ever come across. I've crossed ravines a lot. We had done that in the previous world without too much fanfare. But coming in on the point of this one, just looking around here. So we got a ravine going off that way, right? And that was right at the bottom here. We've got a junction, so you can see there's one going back off up that way. There is another that you really can't see very well going back off that way. So we basically came right through the middle of a big old X. And of course, there's the one we started with right up here that we actually capped off when we were up at the top and went into the other wing of the X there. So here you can kind of see it a little bit better. Wing of the X that way, wing of the X that way, wing of the X that way, and wing of the X that way. Basically a big old junction of two different ravines. And my staircase, without any real good gear at the time, came right through the middle of it. So yeah, that was pretty wild. Definitely check out those videos if you want to see me sweat. Maybe that's not all that appealing. Not really to me, but whatever. All right, well, as if fate had instructed us. Man, look at that. We already ate up a whole deal. Let's grab that. I'm already set here, so we'll just run on this track and see what we end up with. Torch. And again, we'd kind of done this late in the... I'm already losing... Well, that was fun while it lasted. What do we have here? Is it a lake or are we in an ocean? appears to just be underground lake with an axolotl. Hey, buddy. What's up, man? You want to hang out with me, or do you want to go into the big lake? It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. I know you're amphibious, so maybe you can get out, but we're going to dry out this side. So, just so you know, that's your option. It's more light. Don't see any. A lot of times when you have these lakes, you know, kind of throw some coal at you or something underneath. Look, dude, I don't know where you want to be, but your options are going to keep getting limited. So I recommend hopping up over there like you had been and jumping into the big lake. There you go. Good job. Go on into the water. All right, now let's start over with our counting here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. Not setting any speed records here, are we? I don't think axolotls particularly make good pets. I don't think they were designed to. I don't even know. I mean, I know you can name them, keep them around. But one, we don't have any name tags. Two, don't really see the point. I'd rather get doggies and kitty cats. We tried weekly to entice a cat to come join us. It didn't work. We didn't have any raw fish. We did have like 3 pieces of cooked fish, and they were not delighted. So I meant to kick off this video, and I just got so excited as soon as we launched the world to get back after our diamonds that I kind of forgot. But I should throw this caveat out right now. I am recording in the face of Murphy's Law right now, and I fully expect that at any given point, I will be interrupted and this video will have to be cut short. So I want to get that out right now. If you're watching this and it clips off at 10-15 minutes, doesn't mean death. It just means I'm hitting stop on the record quickly here today because, well, I've got a story to tell you guys, and it's kind of comical because it didn't end up any worse than it was. I'm just double checking all the volume and everything here. It really didn't end up too bad for anyone involved, as far as I know. But so last night I did that last video, the one that you guys may have seen prior to this, where we went out and looked at the treasure chest and everything. And you guys probably heard it. I mean, I said as much. I kind of was like, yeah, I took a break, wanted to get back into it. First day in a new world, all that, got excited. And I actually was watching another Twitch streamer when I was having dinner kind of late. I was like, oh, well, just turn on Twitch, see who's going. And one of the guys I like to watch quite a bit, he actually plays hardcore. Little different approach than I have, but hardcore nonetheless, and fairly modded, but a little more vanilla. It's got some textures and a lot of that stuff going on. And he uses some different mechanics and quality of life type features, but it's hang on, I gotta kind of focus up here just a bit. That looks kind of sketch. so far, just waiting for the insta-death. Oh no, don't do that. Alright, water dealt with. Immediate creeper death dealt with. There. And just do these. Still vulnerable to baby zombies. Okay, that's as far as we're gonna get. Okay, before that. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I think. Oh, we still have that. Um, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we are good. Gotta watch out for whatever this lava is, though. Hope nothing gets in here behind me before we can get back with these. Alright, there we go. We are, I believe, fairly secure. Let's swap here. Whew. Still challenging everywhere we go. So, back to the story. We did a... I did that last episode after watching another streamer play. Kind of got me back going. You know, I was loving the new world. It doesn't change anything, but this guy's a big automation builder, all that kind of stuff. You know, doing the big scale of everything. And when I turned it on, his content was pretty similar to what I'd been doing all day. He was running around with iron tools, looking at stuff, and I kind of, I just jumped into the chat. Said, and he doesn't, he's not one of these 1,000 people in his channel. So I just said hi and like, oh, looks like that's a little fresh. And he's like, yeah, I lost it. And, condolences, all that. And he'd been running around. He was like, man, the spawn is just all birch. And kind of highlighted to me that because, well, he's going around. And I was like, man, for one thing, we got really lucky. I love this spawn. Much like the previous world, we are on a regular forest, fairly self-contained island. It's not, obviously, it connects out to that mountainy area with dark forest and the village and everything that we've been to. So it's not an island, but it has water enough around it that we're kind of well insulated, and I like that. And obviously, we found lots of cool stuff already in our backyard, just in the few episodes, well, in the midst of needing to build the shelter and get everything set up. So I was pretty happy, but he went into, because he does a lot of building and all that kind of stuff, he uses a pair of tools to kind of customize his spawn. And I just, that would take away too much of what I enjoy in the game, the exploration part. Knowing, it kind of, he gets a very generic high level map that, is like on the scale of thousands of blocks, but it shows what biomes are going to be around, lets you pick what you're going to end up on in your spawn. And again, the beauty of Minecraft, I've always maintained is that it's a sandbox game. Above all else, you get to play it the way you like, and can kind of make it as difficult or as user friendly as you want. All the other good stuff there. Um, for uh, his sake, it was kind of educational for me, and I think I've seen this a little bit in the past, or at least I'm pretty sure he's the only one that's shown it, or where I would have ever seen it before. And I apologize, I don't have the names of the sites, but he used like two. One kind of generates seeds and lets like if you want to prioritize having a jungle within 1,000 blocks of your seed, it will spit out a bunch of random seeds that will have a high, you basically say like I want to have um, an incidence of 5% of the terrain in the 4,000 chunks from spawn be jungle, and it will spit out a number of seeds. Then you plug those into this mapper thing, and it pulls up this high level map with color codes of what all the various biomes will be in your area, and you can kind of see, are you going to be oceany, or are you going to be in the middle of a continent, that kind of stuff. Very cool if you're into that kind of thing. It's just not my deal. I would rather roll the dice, end up in a world, and see what I've got, and roll with the punches, muddle through it or not, than just deal with it. And because I'm not heavy into the um, spawn chunk dependent stuff for the way that I play the game most, I don't feel like if I don't get it right on spawn, I'm stuck. That's when we just pack up and kind of become nomadic to start the game, and I've wandered 3, 4, 5,000 blocks before I've settled down at times, just to find something I like. So it was really cool coming out of our last world, the Olympic flyover world, where we'd had a very nice spawn, right on good terrain, to then get another one right on the heels of that. Amazing for me. So it made me cool. It made me feel really good. And I was like, while he's doing all that, because we were kind of talking in his chat, he's like, you know, this is pretty miserable. We've been walking around for like an hour, and I'm just not finding the stuff I want. There's diamonds. And myself and a couple of the other people in the chat just agreed, if it's hardcore and it's making it not fun, don't do it. You're going to be investing, and he's a streamer, and he does, like 8-hour streams multiple times a week. So, if you're not feeling it, it's not worth it. You've got to have something that makes you want to come and play. Otherwise, your audience is going to feel it. If you're just going through the motions. And so ultimately, he punched a golem in a village, and oops, there went that world. So it was very entertaining. Uh, Twitch Jester Woot. He's not in YouTube as far as I know. Maybe he loads VODs or anything like that. But definitely check him out. He's a good guy. I've definitely enjoyed his stuff. So while he was doing that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go record another video. I prefer to see some more of my world, instead of just watching him, kind of do the stuff that I normally wouldn't do in mine. But it got me fired up. Like, oh man, here's another guy that lost a much bigger world, and he's having to start over. I'm fired up. I want to do more. So that was where I was kind of. It was much later after a day of a lot of episodes, and I wrapped up that one diving for treasure and had a blast. It was fun. So anyway, that took me later into the evening, and at that point, I was kind of like, man, it's been a long day. It's hot out. It was cooling off, but it was still a hot day. And I was, I'm not gonna do too much. I think I maybe watched another episode. I've said I've been been going back through old years of Top Gear that are on Prime, and getting a kick out of those. I'm kind of caught back up to where I think I'd started or first discovered the show. I think I watched another couple this morning, but I think they got through 2004. the season. So that's the long way back. And it's amazing how dated they feel now. It's like, they're talking about this innovative new Toyota Prius as they, say look up. Watch out for that. Okay, it is covered though. Not there so much. Um, don't want to have a creeper sit on our head. That's for sure. All right, let's try to get across here without being too exposed. Again, we're early. Our primary concern right now is more diamonds, not crazy exploration of ravines. We've already had more of that than we really need this early on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. No. Boom. I think that's right. Obsidian is not one of those that's not real easy to count your blocks on. Watch out for extra hidden lava there. This should be a torch. There we go. We're off. So anyway, watched the episode of Top Gear. I was like, I'm not staying up any later. Kind of waited for my food to digest, and I should say, at one point there while we were making the farms, I talked a lot about books and reading and all that. No surprise, I'm a big reader fan, all that kind of stuff. Like to talk about books every once in a while. But anyway, I've been rereading The Stand for the umpteenth time, but every 5 or so years, I'm like, man, it's been a long time. I haven't read that book. I should read it again. So I've been kind of going through it, and in the paperback version I have, it's like 1,100 and some pages, and when you've got that many, the last 150 or so, you're like, oh, it's about to be over. I remember all this, and so I'm kind of in the setup to the end. And one night I've been reading, I was like, oh, I can't. Just can't keep my eyes open anymore. I'm gonna have to stop. And it's kind of like one more good read. So I thought, all right, I'll go to bed pretty early, relatively early for me, and just read for a while, and probably finish that up. And as I'm walking into my bedroom, I hear a drip, drip. That's odd, because as you guys may remember, anybody that watched a bunch of the videos, after I'd lost the world and needed to reset yesterday, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll take a shower early. I don't have any evening plans or anything like that. Normally, while it's been this hot, I kind of do my recording, shower in the evening before I head out, or just to kind of, cool off and refresh, and then go out for an evening walk or whatever I'm going to do. Just kind of feel human, decent, and all that. But because it had gone wrong, I'd lost the world. I was going, all right, need a mental reset. Let's take a shower, get refreshed, clean, nice clothes and all that. No just sport shorts or anything like that, but put on a belt and all that, sandals, and look like a real person. So I'd done that. That was hours and hours earlier. So it would have been very odd if my shower had a drip or anything like that. It would have been weird if anything. But I hadn't run any water, hadn't even gone in to brush my teeth or anything like that. So there was no reason that anything would be dripping. But I was hearing this very distinctive drip, 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 loud, and I was like, that's weird. So I kind of stuck my head into the bathroom and listened, and nothing. And then as I was like walking back out, I heard it from my utility closet. It was loud, like, uh-oh. So I open it up, and everything in there is damp. And like right as I open it, drip falls right in front of my face. I'm like, what's going on? And everything was like the duct that comes kind of out of my heating and an AC unit was dripping right from the corner. As I open the door, it's running horizontally across my face, and it was, till it gets to an end, and then it kind of cuts back through the ceiling and all that to have the exit venting. But it was dripping right at that corner on the two ends. And I was kind of like, uh-oh, it's probably not my stuff dripping, right? Because it's coming from above whatever whatever I would have plumbing or water into. Um, and I don't know that that's really necessary. So good news for me, my water heater had been replaced right after I moved in. They came in to work on the heater, and while the guy was in there, he's like, "You got a little like stripe of rust on the outside of that, and that means it's about to go. We're going to replace it." And of course, the building people were like, "Yep, do it. We don't want to have flooded out, renters upset and all that kind of stuff." Um, but that tells you, okay, well, the vintage is such that if mine was good to go, maybe others are. So as soon as I hear this dripping, I'm like, oh, that's not good. And grab a bucket, get that set up, and fortunately, it was in the utility closet, so there's a floor drain in there. In case any of that kind of stuff happens. So it wasn't like any of my stuff was getting wrecked, but it's not a good thing. And when it's happening above you, that's a big cause for concern because you don't know what it's dripping through or anything like that. So, very long story short, I had to like leave a message with the automated paging system and all that, and be like, hey, there's water coming through, and I went up and very apologetically and feeling awful knocked on my upstairs neighbor's door at like 10 to 10 at night, and he's kind of an early morning, early to bed guy. I was like, I'm so sorry, man, but got this water coming out. I assume it's in your utility closet. You probably want to go check your water heater. And oh, by the way, I called the maintenance guys, so just want to give you a heads up. They may want to get in here. Just sorry, your night just got wrecked. Um, kind of deal. But he was nice. Obviously, wanted to know instead of not, and it ended up. You never really know. I'm kind of one of those roll up my sleeves and get after it, try to fix it, and he ended up being that same deal. So as I'm positioning a couple buckets, and kind of watching as these drips turn into steady trickles, he was up there. I could kind of hear moving around above my head, and he came back down, probably half hour, 40 minutes later, and he's like, "Well, I think I know what it is, and I think we fixed it. It was his AC was like the whole kind of pipe that runs that connection had condensation on it. I often talk about it. I've been having these Arnold Palmers recently. I talk about like instead of coffee, that has a huge amount of condensation when you have the ice in the glass pulls all the whatever humidity there is out of the air. He said, yeah, I opened it up and there was just like a layer of ice on the cooling pipe thing. Um, and that had been melting into. So when you have a hot water heater, there's a pan it sits in, like usually a big plastic tub, and it's about 3-4 inches deep. And if that starts to drip or anything, it should catch it. And usually it has a water shutoff sensor. So if the water heater starts to let go or drip, the little sensor in the pan won't hold all the volume of the water heater, but it'll let it get a couple inches in, and then it'll hit a water sensor, and that will turn off the valve bringing water into the hot water heater. So it won't just be a flow of water running through and now empty water heater tank into your apartment or your house or anything like that. Standard deal, but there are these little tubs in there, and he had one, and it had been catching all of the uh, condensed melted water, and it filled up. And I talked to the guy today, so I know a little bit more, but apparently it had rusted through. Apparently that was an older metallic pan or something, I don't know. But yeah, it apparently had just started letting go because it wasn't doing it earlier in the evening. It was loud enough, I would have noticed it. And it definitely, as after I caught it, and as I was, waiting for any response or anything like that, going up and talking to the guy, it was getting quicker as it went. Well, eventually, he said, I bailed out this little deal. I know what it is. It's there. It shouldn't go crazy. I think we're good. And I said, well, that uh, work request has been filed. I don't know if you've talked to him too or anything, but they'll be out to check on it and all that. So thanks. But then you don't get a very good night's sleep when you're hearing these occasional drips. Kind of one of those. This could go very wrong. You just have visions of like the whole floor letting go because it had been dripping for a month and nobody knew, and it was just rotting out everything that held the floor up or something. Not the way it worked and not what really happened, but that that was just didn't go right to sleep. Certainly didn't do any reading, and was up bright and early. Um, Expecting it. Sure enough, that maintenance people came around. He came and looked in mine. Was like, well, yeah, he built it so dumb, and it sounded like the outflow pipe had some issue being level, and it was clogged. So he kind of worked on clearing all that out. Needless to say, crisis averted, no big deal. But when that kind of stuff's going on, they're in and out, and that's the Murphy's Law part. I don't know if, just to come back and let me know or to finish checking or anything like that, um, they'll want to come back into my apartment. So if I abruptly drop off, like, oh, here we go, and then it's just done, don't worry. I'll come back. I'll do another video on the heels of it to fill in the rest of the story. But I don't think there will be much more. I think, I've got a little bit of time while it's still it has to drip through, and I kind of have to watch on that. But the work of fixing the problem won't be in my place; it'll be upstairs. So not much of that, but that's what's been going on in my world. Very unexpected. You never want those kind of things to happen at night. When nobody's prepared for it to happen, and it just kind of starts going and is not good. Um, you got a deal. So, you, at least in my mind, when those kind of things happen, because I knew this morning, no way I'm going to record. Just too much going on. They'll be in and out, and I want to facilitate whatever they need out of my access or apartment to help make sure it gets dealt with painlessly and easily and all that. So I tried to make the best out of a far from ideal situation. It wasn't really a bad situation. Could have been much worse, but it gave me some time. So I've spent most of the morning sitting at my PC computer trying to make some headway there on the setup. Fairly positive report. For one thing, I hadn't previously registered Windows, so I had to go in and give my credit card. Hey, I'm gonna pay for this. I don't want to be a rogue pirated software kind of guy. I'm a stand up citizen and human. Um, so I was doing all that, and then again installing a bunch of the software and stuff that we'll use, various things. Right now, the biggest issue that I'm still having, that I want to have confidently dealt with before we do even think about streaming, much less switching over recording operations to it, is that that'll play out. The I have two monitors, one newer and one older, and the primary is, I think it's like 4K ready or whatever. They're both 27-inch, but the one, I look at it as like 3800 whatever resolution, and then the other is the 19 whatever. So, lower step down. And when I do a lot of, I just notice a bunch of lag on the one as opposed to the other. At least it's worse. Working in browser windows and just typing, even in like a notepad or anything like that, there's just these pauses where I was getting nothing, and I'd like type a bunch of characters in a notepad and then they wouldn't appear. And, you wait a long time and then you try to back up and start over again. And then the next thing you know, you like backed over a bunch of the stuff you're in. It was really odd and not necessarily good. So I don't know what that was all about. New deal, but again, I was setting up a lot of the stuff. Probably needs a cleansing reboot and see what's going on there to keep things moving. The piece of that we obviously, there's two. I just don't know. It's a head scratcher, really. I don't understand why that would make any difference. And I caught a few times on the other monitor where it was still lagging. It doesn't, it shouldn't be anything about the resolution. And I've used that monitor on that computer where it was doing the crashing thing without any lag or delays or anything. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's just it's showing me it hasn't given up its fight. It will still continue to be a pain in the rear end computer even after being rebuilt and reloaded and all the rest of it. So I don't know what its deal is, but it's getting closer. We're closer to some good stuff, I think. Speaking of good stuff, we are closer to cooking up the 58 pieces of iron, last check in our inventory here. So we'll drop those in here. Top that off a little bit. Very good stuff. Got a few cobble stone piles here. Deep slates and andesite. Deep slates and gravel and dirt and flint and coal. So eat just one run of that, we're already doing pretty well. I didn't think about should cook the coal first because we got 8. The obvious next first step, I guess. I mean, really, typically I do sword and pick, but we have enough obsidian already to do the enchanting table if we should want it. And with 8, do we want a sword over a shirt? I think we want a shirt, right? Let's make a shirt. Oh, look at that. We're getting advancements. Now, we want to, let the burning sound take care of itself for a second. Let's got cobble now. We got coal. Let's make a couple more of these for our corners because we can, and because I want to cook that coal. Or gold coal. don't cook coal. And we also need a bunch of iron stuff here. One, two, three, four. So I need more torches. Alright, let's hop in the boat. Sorry. Frantic boating. Let's go here. Let's do that. There. I don't think you guys are seeing this. I think you're seeing the slide still. If you aren't, this was this is as awful as it comes out, but or my production values are. All right, back to here. That was intentional. I was trying to mask everything. And are you ready? Dun 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 dun. There we go. My first ever and the official Hambbage skin is now present. Before I switch into my things, all you savvy viewers probably noted my trotter in when I was barehanding stuff, or saw a little bit of difference as I was viewing in the inventory. But yeah, that's part of what I used my morning for, was getting on and setting up a skin for this account. I've always just used Steve. Obviously, I play single player. So yeah, I got on whatever Minecraft skins.net or whatever it is, and created this. Obviously, Hambbage. I've got my pig in spirit of ham and a kind of a pig roast. I've always kind of had this vision of Hambbage and a logo of maybe a pig guy juggling cabbages or something like that. You know, the cartoon pig sitting in the stew pot holding the cabbages or something like that. You know, smiley. He doesn't care. He doesn't feel anything. He's a cartoon. Watch out for that Enderman, by the way. We're gonna keep looking at the water. So you will notice. I don't know if I can do this without. Well, I've got my grass skirt. It kind of goes back and forth. I have my Tommy Bahama red Magnum PI Luau shirt on, and a yellow and blue lei around my neck. And let's see, I don't think I can see behind me really. Oh, well, yeah, you can. If we go here, I got a tail sticking out of my shirt over my grass skirt. So that's my first effort. I kind of had a blast making it. It was fun figuring it all out. So that's me. I've got the layered texture, so I'm a naked pig underneath, but have my skirt and shirt on over the top, along with a little bit of texture on my hair. You can see just over the edge there, and my snout sticks out a little bit, and then my shirt, my skirt, and my lei all on that outer texture. So really fun. I know I'm the only person that was running around in a generic skin anyway. Years ago I could have done that, but I like it. Hope it fits the theme of the channel. It may be a long while. It only took me 10 years or so, probably not quite that long, but quite a while to make my first one. So Don't expect that I'll be changing clothes every day or anything like that, but now we got it. So in honor of this, we will do a selfie in front of the deal. Maybe we can get. I didn't really plan this very well. We don't need that. Let's do it like this. Base, a little bit of the water. I'm trying to plan to clip out my perch. Although, I don't know. What do you think? You think I need to show my feet, my trotters? Can't really see them on my hands. There we go. I can do it like that. You guys are like, come on, just take a stupid picture. Get a couple views. Not every day you have a first skin ever. All right, enough of that. So that was the grand reveal. While I was expecting interruptions and everything, I got that done. Still don't have any further progress on a video editing software choice or anything like that. Honestly, this was the first time I'd looked at the PC in quite a while, but it was good motivation, get me going a little bit. So I'm in no rush. I don't want to have the frustration that we had with Slow Cooker again anytime soon. That was awful. I think this is just kind of me getting distracted, but I think this was the way we got back around to our first night hold up place, maybe. And as we go here, oh man, first of all, the whole point was I can't change my shirt without showing you guys my outfit anyway, but don't then forget to put back on your clothes and run around and get wrecked by the first. You can see myself making a squid angry and losing the game or something. Don't want to do that. But this is what we were hoping for. It was just a hefty stack of fish. We have now gotten a bunch of 20 some steaks from that last episode. But between cats for pets and just having more food as we go, finding a nice little salmon patch like this is pretty good. And the further out we go with the mining, the more we go. I wanted to spend this daytime kind of out, showing off my new skin, letting you guys see it. We'll maybe try to do some stuff in fact, I don't know how well this will work. I guess you guys can't really see it. That's the problem. I don't want to run around without my clothes on. Look at my piggy face. It's so piggy. Oh, okay. Go get here. Get this fish. Listen. It's the most athletic salmon I've ever seen. Someday we'll figure out the mystery of the music. Supposing all the fun of all that, I should take a look at what time we started, how long we've been playing for in this episode. Yeah, really not feeling like a recording kind of day today. But I hope to cover that. Get in a couple episodes and get some more progress in the world. Now that we got all the cosmetic stuff out of the way, we got the power of ham and cabbage. I didn't really get to incorporate the cabbage too much. I was thinking, as I was like, for any Americans of my generation, the Uh, you think luau, you think a red Tommy Bahama Magnum PI floral print shirt. It's just the what it is, defined by the show Magnum PI. It was Tom Selleck was that popular, and there was a time when I was a little kid in the '80s when Hawaiian that was just it was this it's probably awful for all the elementary school teachers that had to see it happen. But I remember, everybody had, you even had like these crazy little like lightweight pants that were like Hawaiian print themed, and everybody had Hawaiian shirts. And at about the same time was when Chuck Taylors were all over the place, and so you just like buy colors of Chucks and mix them, so you'd have like a blue shoe and a yellow shoe one day, and then you know the white with the red or something. It must have been hideous. I don't know. It was crazy. But so yeah, it was everybody wanted to have Hawaiian stuff, and I think I think a large part was Hawaii 5 or Hawaii 502. Not so much for me as a little kid. Um, that one never. The song was iconic, but for me, the are you still? Are you hitting me under the water like that? Come on. It's starting to get a little scary there. How many of these do we? 40? Let's at least get the stack. We found the farm. Our first squid ink. What do you know? A couple more fish here. This is another one of these just cathartic episodes. You gotta probably like skip. He's swording fish again. I love it though because it's so maddening that you miss them all the time. So it does add a little bit of a kind of a duck hunt element, except you got to move up and down, and they do at the same time. See, it's those that are. Gotta be doing pretty well here, right? Every time I think that, then there's like another dozen that have all just spawned together. Alright, let's see what we have. Well, I guess that's pretty perfect. Time to go. Till another day. let's just see if we can relocate our long lost home. There's an extra fish. A couple here. We can't. Huh. Kind of did lose that, didn't we? Ink. Oh, it looks so good when we come back around. It says there's somebody that lives here. There it is, I think. Are we that close? Yeah, this was it. Was that our roots? Oh, look at all that good. That was our early stuff. Should we grab this? Polish it up. Really, I don't think we would have left any coal or anything in there. Oh, that's fun. And we're not very far at all. I guess by going around that tree. But we had gone all the way out before we came back and decided this was going to be where our home was. Alright. One thing I've looked at twice now and really would like to modify is this little piece right here. Oh, look at my little hooves. Alright, inks, bone meals, sand, bone. Our first bone. Cooked the two. Very well done. Put that away. Now upgrade from bread to fish. We will those arrows away. Get a new sword after wearing that one down on fish. Oh, I was going to cut trees to get rid of our stone tools. Let's go do that before it gets dark. Don't have much time left. Got enough. Maybe. Maybe not. In fact, maybe what we should be doing, since it is late in the day, is using up this here. And we'll go to sleep. There we go. All right, yeah. So for anybody that hasn't been around the last couple times we came out this way, this was kind of our initial area, and what appealed to us, being flat, is very low need to terraform to get flat space for our fields again, and animal rearing, any kind of machines or stuff that we want to build later. When you start fairly flat, makes it pretty easy. Skim off a layer of dirt is a lot better than taking down hills and having to break rock and all that to get level space. So pretty happy with how that turned out. Aha, my fellows. Now, I think with a skin like this, we should have no issues in the nether, right? All the hoglins, the piglin brutes and everybody, they should all love me. They'd be like, oh, yeah, it's a fellow. We're set. Hambbage, our king. But I don't know it's going to work out that way. Get my bearings here again. Wood always good to just keep grabbing that. Certainly a worthwhile way to drop a little bit of time. Over here. Look at that. Almost a full stack ready to go. All right, now it is time to check our recording time. An hour and 1 and 30 seconds. That is spectacular. All right, let's go ahead and save here. Should not be played while driving. Definitely not. Have some consideration and focus on the wheel. Guys, as always, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. The support every time, as much as I hate losing the world, every time I lose a world, you guys come on out and pile up to let me know you're out there and show how appreciative you are. I can't reflect how grateful I am that you guys are willing to do that. It's very cool. Keeps me definitely wanting to come back, and I think we'll definitely come back for at least one more today. I'm not sure what the afternoon, evening has in store, but again, Murphy's Law will remain in effect until otherwise noticed. If I get a knock on the door, you guys get dropped, and then I'll come back and wrap up in a separate episode again. Video editing, I just made a skin. Cut me some slack, guys. We're learning as we go here, so y'all take care. Let me know what you think of Hambage's new body and how he looks. And we'll see you back here for the next one. Bye now.